having a more meaningful engagement.
Question number 5, Metiria Turei.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā koutou e te whare. My question is to the Minister for Economic Development and asks, when will he release all of the advice he has received on the social harms from the SkyCity deal, given his statement yesterday that it is his understanding that only most of the advice has been released?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, as I said to the member yesterday, I would check again, and I have. On Monday we released most of the material relating to social harm, along with cabinet papers relating to the agreement and, of course, the regulatory impact statement. As I said to the member yesterday, there is more information relating to the wider agreement that will be released soon. That material includes a number of briefings and correspondence relating to the negotiations themselves. Inevitably, some of that material will include some information about harm reduction, but the main documents in regard to harm minimisation have already been released.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Has the Minister seen any advice on how many Auckland children will be left alone in the SkyCity car park as a result of increased gambling under the SkyCity deal, given that there were seven reports of children left alone in that car park last year?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, I have received advice regarding harm minimisation more generally, not the specific item that the member raises. But that information is contained in the report, and it makes it clear that it's not possible to say that necessarily there will be any increase in some of the social issues the member outlines as a result of the changes.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Has the Minister asked for or seen any advice about how many jobs in Auckland will be lost due to Auckland businesses folding from more gambling-related fraud from increased gambling under the SkyCity deal?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, no. What I have received advice on in relation to jobs is the 1,000 construction jobs created with the convention centre and the approximately 800 jobs that will be created for its ongoing operation, which would go, of course, with the 3,500 jobs currently held by employees of SkyCity.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Has the Minister read the KPMG fraud surveys, which shows that gambling remains a major motivator of fraud with high individual losses, and has he sought advice on the economic cost of fraud from increased gambling under the SkyCity deal?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, I haven't seen the particular report the member outlines. I'm sure she could dig out some other reports if she wished to. What I have been through, though, in some detail is a regulatory impact statement which lays out the potential risks and also lays out the benefits of this arrangement. And I can inform the member again, and the House will get the opportunity to vote on this afternoon, that it is the Government's view that the balance is in favour of proceeding with this arrangement.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Has the Minister sought advice on how much money Auckland charities can expect to have stolen as a result of gambling-related theft arising from the SkyCity deal, given that more than 50% of stolen charity funds are stolen to fuel problem gambling, and how many jobs in those charities are expected to be lost as a result of that theft?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, with the greatest respect to the member, we could go through every possible social harm in Auckland. But again, I would point out to that there is no guarantee that this would increase under this arrangement, because the reality is that the marginal increase of pokie machines by SkyCity in this arrangement is more than offset by the decline of pokie machines across the rest of Auckland and the country.
Point of order, Metiria Turei.
Sir, my question was very specific as to whether the Minister had sought advice on the issue of theft from charities.
Order. I certainly
he did not
heard
answer that question.
Order. Well, I certainly heard the question. I thought the Minister made a reasonable attempt, but if he could just clarify, has he sought any specific advice on that specific issue of Auckland charities having money stolen from them, that would presumably be of satisfaction to the member?
No, Mr Speaker, and I could probably answer the same question for a number of her further supplementaries.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why did the Coordinate report into the SkyCity deal omit to factor in the increased risk of business fraud, increased theft from charities and the subsequent job losses? And can we take it then that the report does not provide an accurate assessment of the actual costs or benefits of the SkyCity deal?
Well,
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, the member constantly, and I think I can only deliberately, seeks to misrepresent the position of the Court-Amenta report. And the Court-Amenta report was designed to balance the economic benefits to SkyCity versus the economic benefits to the Crown, to check that there was a fairness in terms of the allocation. It was not designed to assess the social harm risks. That has been adequately dealt with, as I said, in the regulatory impact statement. And again, it is by no means clear at all that a marginal increase in machines in one casino will increase gambling harm, especially when the total number of machines across Auckland and across New Zealand continues to decline.
Supplementary question, Metiria Turei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that the Minister has no idea how much money will be stolen, how many businesses will fold, nor how many jobs will be lost from the increase in gambling-related crime under the SkyCity deal, can we take it then that his job numbers are at best inaccurate and at worst just made up?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, no. I can tell the member what I do have no idea about, and that is why it is that the Greens are so vociferously opposed to this deal when they were so silent about the deal that occurred under the previous Labour government. And I can only conclude it's politics and it's not principle.
Point of order, Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister has no responsibility for the Greens policy.
Order.
He has no responsibility for the previous Labour government, and he has no responsibility for the decisions of Judith Collins before she was a minister.
Order. And I don't think in any way the Minister, through his answer, accepted responsibility for the Green Party, the former Labour government, or decisions by Judith Collins. He simply responded to a question that was relatively political, and he responded politically back again. Question number 6, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister.